Am I audible?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, I apologize because earlier I was having some technical challenges. I think we're good to go. And I mainly wanted to add, to a few points that have already been mentioned. I think before we are starting the call itself, Dinesh mentioned that the core to forming our community is thinking about humanity. And furthermore, that if this is kept in mind, then we're not going to see, say, this gender lens that keeps coming up. And unfortunately, I think during the pandemic, we've seen in many ways, and not just through gender, but even socioeconomic status, that we're kind of back to talking about equity as to say equality. And when we think about professionalism and leadership, if leadership can keep in mind just skills and skills speaking, that will bring us a long way, regardless of gender. So, there's already so many points that have been brought up, and I'll use education, kind of as a segue. And in Shining Stars Football Club, we are young. We function very quietly. We've grown organically. We're just 115 boys and girls. We start at the age of 7, and we work with children and youth. Right now, our eldest is 20 years old. And the children in Shining Stars FC, at least 40%, I've known them personally for about 7 years. So there's this relationship that we've kind of created, that really evokes trust. So that's kind of core because in Shining Stars Football Club, we do look at football excellence. And oftentimes right now, more not-for-profits are seen as, say, quote unquote, an NGO. In Shining Stars FC, we're very much inspired by, say, a traditional club setup, and where a lot of legends, football legends have come from just community football. And all of our children live about 5 to 10 minutes walking distance from the ground. We're in 2 communities in Bangalore, which are low-income communities. And yeah, I think we encourage SSLC Pass, and that's very important for children to pay attention to education in parallel. That also, wins parents' trust, especially in houses where there are first-generation learners. A parent's dream, who may not have studied even past 7th, just wants their child to pass 10th. So we work on football excellence. We talk about teamwork off the pitch, and that's where critical thinking, skills, dialogue come into play, and we work on design-driven projects. And furthermore, what we're seeing is through 10th, when a child develops a certain level of football skill, that becomes a tool for accessing quality education, which wasn't an option or a choice before, say an opportunity before, and that too through sports scholarships and accessing 11-a-side football in great colleges that have good football teams. So we have 12 youth in Shining Stars FC right now that have gotten into great colleges, through sports scholarships. And so, I mean, this is just a bit about us, but I think we can get into this more. Shining Stars FC is part of a larger initiative called Pass Collective, and Shining Stars FC is self-sustained. So the way that we've kind of set up our work is that we're not dependent on external money in our early days, because oftentimes what does happen in, say, development is a funder might come in, and the funder dictates what happens on the ground. And right now, we've consciously decided in our early years that we look at revenue generation through our design studio, where we work with really fun partners in sport, in education, development. We provide services like design research, branding, visual communication, systems design, right? And the revenue we generate there is what internally sustains Shining Stars Football Club. And we're looking at Pass Collective as this platform of skills sharing and skills development alike. Oftentimes there are youth who may come from marginalized situations, who may not have equal opportunity, as Henry just pointed out. And when that opportunity is provided, especially in an environment where, say, a youth is empathetic, they like sports, they like dialogue, they're people friendly, then this kind of completes that cycle of skills development and skills application. So that's what we're doing in Shining Stars Football Club.